The 2017 NFL season, entertaining to say the least. The Browns were still in peak Browns form.
There it is.
3rd and 2. And now Kaiser in trouble. Just looking around. The ball is batted into the air. And it is. Is it intercepted?
And the Bengals helped the Bills crack a 17-year playoff drought with a play that still gives me goosebumps.
This is it. The Bengals can't gain 12 yards. The Baltimore Ravens are headed to the postseason.
Here's their season. Dalton steps up. Dalton throws. It's complete. Caught by Boyd. Tyler Boyd. Touchdown. Remarkable.
Not to mention, Todd Gurley led the league in rushing touchdowns, and Kareem Hunt led the league in rushing yards. It was a different time back in 2017. But the craziest part of the season, definitely the playoffs. Not only for the fire commercials that they have that I really hope they bring back.
With one of the best Patriots offenses ever, the game plan is simple. 1, if by land. 2, if by air.
The playoff picture is coming together. Watch it unfold.
But just imagine if you told someone today that the Jaguars were just on the brink of a Super Bowl. They wouldn't believe you, but yet it happened in 2017. Today, we're going to be recapping arguably one of the craziest postseasons in NFL history, the 2017-2018 NFL playoffs. Kicking off the playoffs was the Chiefs and the Titans, and they didn't disappoint. The Chiefs came out guns a-blazing, getting a 14-3 lead at half, and it only got worse for the Titans. It was 21-3 Chiefs halfway through the third quarter when it happened.
3rd down and goal. Tennessee in dire need of 6 and not 3. Mariota to the line of scrimmage, maybe across the line. It deflects back to him for a touchdown for the moment. But was he across the line of scrimmage? Play.
Revis bats the ball right back to Mariota. It's a live ball. It's a
quarterback
touchdown.
is behind the line, and he was in shotgun, so therefore he is an eligible receiver. It is a touchdown.
Very close.
I watched this live and I'm still amazed at how perfectly the ball tipped back into Mariota's hands. Not only that play, but as well as some other luck on their side throughout the game. Not to mention the monster of a man that's Derrick Henry. The Titans made it interesting again when it was 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Remarkable how many times they've done it already. From the 22, 2nd and 10. Mariota to the goal line. Touchdown, Tennessee. Eric Decker hangs on to that one for one of the biggest catches of his life.
Honestly, that call might have been one of the worst that I've ever seen. The voice crack is just horrendous.
The goal line.
But it kind of adds to the stress and tension of the moment. The Titans, however, were able to hold on to this lead 22-21, scoring 18 unanswered points and making a great comeback to kick off the playoffs. Now, the next game was nothing to write home about. A defensive game versus the Falcons and the Rams, and well, the Falcons just had a better defense. They went up early, and the final score was 26-13. The next day, the Jags-Bills game, it was arguably worse. Again, a defensive game. The Jags only held the Bills to 3 points, and Blake Bortles honestly couldn't even do much better, only scoring 10. The Jags moved on with a 10-3 victory over the Bills. The Panthers and the Saints, they got started exactly how you would expect to get started. Drew Brees with a long touchdown to Ted Ginn, in somewhat of a revenge way to his old team. The game had good back and forth action with a solid amount of both defense and offense. Not to mention, Graham Gano had an absolute day. Going into the half, the Saints had a 21-9 lead. However, the Panthers were not over yet and crawled their way back to make it tight. However, it wouldn't be enough, and the Saints moved on with a 31-26 win over the Panthers. Moving into the divisional matchups, the first two games were low scoring and low-key boring. That rhymed. The Eagles faced the Falcons, defeating them 15-10 in what was a very defensive game once again. However, the Eagles had a better defense this time, and the Patriots absolutely demolished the Titans 35-14 in a game that was just Brady 101. The following day, however, was much different. The Jags visited the Steelers, and Leonard Fournette had a field day. With 109 yards on the ground and 3 touchdowns, he put the entire Jags offense on his back. Not only that, but the Jags defense made countless plays, turnover after turnover. Down 28-7 at the half, the Steelers had to create some type of momentum, and they found that momentum in Le'Veon Bell. Bell went for a total of 155 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he helped the Steelers get back into it. However, with a failed onside kick at the end of the game, it seemed to seal it, and the Jags moved on 45-42 over the Steelers. Soon after, we got to see one of the best playoff moments in recent memory. With 29 seconds left to go, Will Lutz of the Saints hit an, at the time, game-winning 43-yard field goal. It looked like it was over for the Vikings. It was 24-23 and with very little time left. However, with a quick strike to Stephon Diggs, they made it to around the 40-yard line, and that is when history happened.
Steps into it, pass is caught! Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable! Vikings win it!
I was watching this game with my friend who is a Saints fan, and it was just a mix of shock and pain and just I mean, I laughed, but I mean, I couldn't really say much because the Bengals weren't even in the playoffs. So the funniest thing, however, is that the Vikings, coming off that huge win in Minneapolis, they went to Philadelphia and they got smacked by the Eagles, losing 38-7. The Saints game was honestly Minnesota's own little Super Bowl. Now in the AFC, the Jags went to New England to make history. It was the first time to an AFC championship game in franchise history, and yet they still performed. The Jags didn't change anything from previous games and played a really good defensive game, leading the Patriots all the way until late in the fourth quarter. When the Patriots scored with a little bit less than 3 minutes left to go, Blake Bortles was tasked with a game-winning drive. A few quick hitters and he was down to New England's 38, and it was looking good for Jacksonville. However, the offense stalled, and on 4th and 14, they had to make it all the way to the 28-yard line to keep their dreams alive.
All 3 receivers over here, all 3 corners over here.
Stepping up and throwing, and it is knocked down by Gilmore.
It would have been crazy to see the Jaguars in a Super Bowl, but what's even crazier is the fact that they went 5-11 the following season. Just shows you how quickly franchises can turn and flip around. And finally, Super Bowl 52 was here. The hype around the previous Super Bowl rematch became insane, and on February 4th, 2018, the game was held. The Eagles got out to a quick start. Early in the second, they had a 15-3 lead with a LeGarrette Blount touchdown, but the Pats were not far behind, scoring a Gostkowski field goal and a James White touchdown. Then with 34 seconds to go in the half, the Eagles found themselves on the 1-yard line.
And they're going to snap it, and it's Trey Burton who throws, caught. Foles, touchdown.
The Philly special, It Got Coined, highlighted the entire Super Bowl. Many teams got inspired and took advantage of this play call and used it in the following seasons. However, at the time, it wasn't enough to hold the lead for the long run. Chris Hogan came and scored a touchdown, putting the Pats up by 33-32. However, Foles had one more trick up his sleeve. And in a game-winning drive, he sealed the game with a Zach Ertz touchdown. It's crazy to think because Brady had a phenomenal game by all standards. 505 yards and 3 touchdowns was just insane. However, it wasn't enough to beat the Eagles. A fitting way to end one of the wildest postseasons in NFL history. Alright guys, that's going to be it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Comment which type of video you want to see next. I'll have some more, drafted before and different stories and whatnot. So make sure you guys tell me what you want to see in the comments. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace!